Hey, everybody. We are going to do a brief patron, or it's not a patron response, it's like a listener response. We thought this was an important email and criticism or critique of something we said from a few episodes ago. So I'm going to read what the email says without identifying the person because they said they didn't want to be identified. And it was a response to episode 30, which was about the DSM-5. And so I'll just read it. They said, blah, blah, blah. I like your podcast, like good stuff. And then they said, I was really looking forward to the recent DSM-5 episode, but found your comments on medication in the beginning of the episode rather off-putting. Sure, more people can go to therapy and not need meds, but they can be life-saving for people. I also get really uncomfortable with these types of comments as I have ADHD and the meds I take for it are highly stigmatized already, but are absolutely life-saving. Whether that's helping stave off the depression or anxiety caused by not being able to do anything, or from helping me concentrating while driving. Also, combining medication with therapy is the only way I've actually found success. Neither tool on its own was enough for me. I wasn't able to continue listening to the episode all the way through because I didn't want to keep holding out hope that you'd introduce but some medications can be really life-saving, so don't feel bad if you take them, caveat. Maybe you did. If so, I'd be happy to finish the episode. So and actually just maybe like a personal responsibility because we had a brief back and forth, and then I think my last email to this wonderful human was I asked something about if they believed in sort of ADHD or other things being like biologically caused or like a brain or genetic thing, and then I was like, you should Google this or something, sort of like. So anyway, apologies, because I think what I was trying to get at is something we'll kind of talk about is that, I think Roy Grinker actually kind of explains this stuff better than we do from an anthropological point of view, but we should sort of, I think, apologize a little or maybe just acknowledge, like, yeah, it's not nice to give the message that there's something wrong with people for taking meds or to deny the helpfulness of meds for some situations. So, we should say that.
Yes, and I also think that what we are trying to do, and I think we can overdo it certainly, and the criticism is apt, is that in trying to be a counterweight to the constant take a pill, take a pill, take a pill, which is the message of big pharma and a lot of psychiatry, we want to say, no, don't automatically take a pill. There are other ways also, but the also is important, and meds can help.
Right.
And so we want to thank this responder very much for the feedback that we have gotten. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I've probably said this on there or on air before, and I think it's important for more people, even for mental health professionals to say this because we're not magic. I've taken Zoloft, Prozac, like antidepressants. I took a psychiatrist thought that I met criteria for bipolar at a certain point, and so I was on the hell was it, Abilify, and Wellbutrin, which is a stimulant-based antidepressant for a while. I'm not taking any medications right now, but for me personally, I actually came to the conclusion after looking more into the studies on a lot of these drugs that it may be that they're not as effective as I thought they were or that psychiatrists thought they were. And so I thought, wait a second, is this bullshit? And then I went off meds and things were harder, but I just found like ways to restructure my life. And so I say this for two reasons. One is that, it's okay to take meds. It was helpful for me when I did it, but I think also, what I'm not saying is like, well, everybody can just pull themselves up by their bootstraps and not need like medical help or something like that. I guess I'm not saying that, but I think that we're trying to offer a counterpoint to the mainstream message, which is, it's on mainstream radio and television because we have direct to consumer ads. We're like swimming in the mainstream idea that meds are actually the first line of defense against human suffering. So I think we're just trying to offer that counterpoint.
Yeah, I do too. And sometimes we overdo it, and we're really grateful to the response that we got because we can overdo it in our zeal not to just automatically go to meds when they may not be necessary. you have to admit sometimes they are and are very helpful.
Hmm. Right, right. Yeah, and I think like we could still say, for example, that well, we think that the conditions of capitalism created this thing called ADHD, sort of, or that
Yes,
maybe it was
they do.
present, but it wasn't a problem. We could say all those things, and we could say, and also capitalism created the conditions under which not only are these sort of clusters of symptoms that we're calling diagnoses showing up because of the conditions, but then therefore they have to be treated somehow because of the conditions of capitalism, which means sometimes people have to take meds to treat the conditions of capitalism. We could still
So
we
they
could
have
still
to
say that our
feed the beast,
conceptualization could still be right that
right?
like the political economy is causing the problem, but so yeah, we should definitely be, I think, more careful when we speak
Yes,
about these
you
things.
sometimes have to feed the beast in order to get a little peace. So, okay,
Right.
we
Yeah.
understand.
All right. So yeah, we're sorry. We don't want to. We're not shaming people for meds, and we will stop doing that. If we have been doing that, we're going to stop doing that.
You bet.